What's up, guys? Welcome back to our Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Swordsoul going up against Runick Chimera. This is the deck that you guys saw yesterday. So if you guys want to be seeing any more of the deck profile, let me know in the comment section down below. We'll be doing some test hands and stuff like that. This deck is really cool, as you guys can see. And then playing against Swordsoul, everyone's good old reliable deck. Before we dive into the like, comment, subscribe, we're on the road to 5K, hoping to hit that very, very soon. You know, under 100 left. Then we're going to be doing a mat giveaway, a custom mat that we end up making, so shoutouts to Pyramid Gaming for that. But we're going to see Swordsoul going to be going first with a summon out of the Ecclesia, activating the effect here, going for a Mogi. Mogi will be able to activate its effects, revealing a copy of Emergence. We also got to see a little bit of a sneak peek of an Ash Blossom there. Then we're going to go for Chijiao, then we're going to get the Chijiao as well as Mogi. Going to be able to draw and then search. We do have the Emergence in the hand, so chances are we will not be searching for the Longyong, but instead be searching for a copy of the Blackout. And Blackout is quite good in this matchup because it can pop the copies of the Fountain, but we're going to see them search for Longyong here instead. Then activate the copy of the Emergence, searching for a copy of Longyong. So maybe not having another worm in the hand there. We're going to then see them activate the effect, sending the Adhara, going with the token. Then we're going to be going into the copy of the Sinister here. You know, that can be quite good against the spells, especially when you have like a Fountain that can get banished, and then of course you can't summon it back with Gary. Or even when we look at those cards like Chimera Fusion and we get to banish it right away without getting its effects off is really nice as well. But then I set 2 cards and then pass turn on this. You know, quite a little simple board. 2 banishes with minus 12, you know, being able to take perhaps 36. And then having 2 face downs as well and a Veiler. Plus an Ash in the hand is quite good. But we're going to take a second to think here. We do have a Runick Destruction in the hand. We're going to see them activate the Allure to Special Summon here. Going for a copy of the Hugin. Hugin can activate its effects, discarding a Fountain. Chimera Fusion here. To search for the Runick Fountain. So now we just have to activate one more, and then if we do activate it, we will be most likely going to get it banished, but we do activate a Flashing Fire instead to destroy that copy of Sinister. They can activate the effect of Sinister there, making them pay 12 and then banish, and then also have them chain the Heavenly Prison here to make so that we don't banish as well as Galactic's got a search. Going to be going for a copy of the Taya there for a nice follow-up. Unfortunately, that Runick card should be banished, but that's fine. Should not make that much difference here. We also see a Super Poly that can activate its effects, discarding the Fenrir there to use the Hugin as well as the copy of the Chijiao for a Mud Dragon. This will also allow us to summon from the extra deck here. We're going to place down the Fountain once again. And we do have a Runick card to let us get that draw. We can go Destruction on the back row, getting rid of the droplets. And then we can activate the effect of the Fountain here. We do have Ash for that. That's fine. We do also see that I'm hitting the Desires there. But it doesn't look too good for us. You know, they have a Taya. We have no cards left in hand, and they're like on full gas. We can go for a Typhon here and just passing turn on this. This will allow them not to get that copy of Barone out, but there's lots of other stuff they can do. We're going to be seeing them go for the Sacred, which is the same Monster Reborn, summoning out the Mogi. And then they're like, yeah, it's going to be enough because they're going to be able to also summon out the Taya. Then we're going to spin back out the copy of there. And then we can just go for game with those 2 cards, but which is nice. You know, you can go for a Baxia shuffle back, and then target, destroy, summon itself out. And then, of course, you can go for your copy of the Chijao. So even if they didn't, you'd still have a bunch of plays. But it's going to be game one for the Swordsoul player. We did see them set up a pretty nice board. We even saw a little bit of a misplay there. But that's going to be fine. I wonder if we could have special summoned out the Fenrir first. That would have made a difference. Chances are we probably would have seen it get banished off of that Sinister. But there's always the off chance that it wouldn't. But definitely think it was played well on the Runick Chimera player. Not much you can unfortunately do against, Ash, Banish, and also when your hand's not that good. It's crazy how Swordsoul is still a very I don't want to say fair deck. It's very fair, but very one for one. Moyi is only going to be as crazy as Moyi ever is, but it does get a search, draw, and a Imberm, so kind of nice. But we are going to be moving into a pretty high talents format. I feel like talents is going to be quite representative with the amount of hand traps that's going to be activated. Even thrust. Looking at some of those cards like Ponix playing into thrust immediately, as well as Populous and Labyrinth. Chances are you're going to be activating monster effects, not even counting those hand traps during your opponent's turn. So we're going to be seeing them dive in to game two. The Runick player will be able to go first, having the advantage this time, going, be able to activate that fountain right away. But we shall see. I do see a destruction in the hand once again here. We're going to activate the tip. No need for a copy of Hugin here. Then we get rid of a Droll and Lockbird. We aren't going to be seeing the Droll on res, which is nice. I'm pretty happy with my Drolls getting banished and not drawing it for turn, to be honest. That's a little bit more unfortunate. We're then going to activate a Destruction to summon, and going for the copy of the Hugin. Then we're going to discard a copy of the Super Poly there. Hugin's going to activate its effects, getting that second copy of the Fountain. Do we maybe have one more Runick card that's going to let us go for something else? But we're going to be Tribute Summoning for a Big Wing Bephermat. Bephermat's going to activate its effects, searching for a copy of Gazelle as well as the Chimera Fusion. Kind of an weird line, but that does happen a lot of the times when you do open up a Big Wing and nothing else. We're going to activate a Fountain, activate a Flashing to summon out here. That's going to go for a copy of the Fangs. We will get then an additional draw 3 here, which is really nice. And we do see more Runick cards, therefore we'll be able to activate the effects later on, getting deal with summon them back out. We're going to activate the Chimera Fusion, going for the copy of the King, and that's going to let us also get a search, and then during the end phase, rip a card. And it looks like they don't have any kind of interaction there, so they will be just placing it. And then we search for the Coatl. Coatl will then go for a Mirror Swords Knight. We have normal summon, unfortunately, using that tribute summon for that Baphomet, but, it's still not over yet. I don't know if they have a way to get it on the field, but we're going to see a Fountain over a Fountain, and then we can see maybe a Slumber to draw one. Slumber here is going to activate, essentially just going to get that +1 there. They did use those Runick cards during the last turn, so they unfortunately, or not the last turn, but the last, so they should not be shuffling the deck. We're going to see them set one card and then getting rid of a card in the hand. And we are going to be hitting a copy of Desires. That's essentially hitting 2 cards out of the hand for free at this point, which is quite nice. But we still see the Desires in the hand anyways. We're going to go Harpy's Feather Duster. This is a good hit. And we can't even protect it with the Hugin because we have an extra deck filled. So we're going to chain the Chimera Fusion, going for the copy of Magnum the Reliever, it looks like. And we do lose our Fountain. That is our second copy. So if they can get rid of both of them in the graveyard, we are going to be big chillin'. But I don't think that Swordsoul really has a way to do that. You know, if they had the double DD Crow, then they had the double DD Crow. But we're then going to see a Desire is going to be activating, banishing 10 cards. And getting that draw too. We see an Ash and a Droll being drawed. That's definitely not what they're looking for. But we have the Emergence. And that's going to be searching for a Mogi most likely. And they're looking at their banished. And we see all 3 Mogis being banished there. That's unfortunate. Searching for a tie, but we don't have any in the grave. I guess we do have the Emergence, yeah, so I guess we can just banish that, but activate banish here. And do we just negate this is a question. I feel like we are going to be negating it with the Mirror Swords Knight there, which is fine, you know, stopping the Synchro is quite good. Chances are they will not be able to summon anything out with it. Or anything. They won't be able to continue, I should say, without that tuner. But oh, we also got double Long Young in there too. Wow. Sometimes Desires is just playing against you. We may not have any other way to get into a fountain because I just realized we used the Gary there to fusion. So we're going to be adding back the Guardian Chimera or the Chimera Fusion here. But like, yeah, we don't have that many ways. Slumber is going to be summoning. We have another copy. Okay, that's good. That's going to let us add back the fountain. Yeah, if we didn't have another copy of that, we'd be pretty screwed. But we are going to be seeing here them activating the Magnum, putting back the Polymerization, and then drawing a card here. And I think we draw into a Slumber. We're going to see a Droll being dropped. We are still going to activate the Fountain. We have no risk of it getting hit with Duster. Duster could come back. I'd be wild seeing Duster at 3. We're going to see a set 2 and then skip battle phase. I'm just passing on this. I mean, there is no other worms in the graveyard for those copies of... For the copy of Taya, I should say, not multiple copies of Taya, but for those copies of Taya to banish. We are only on 1 Long Young in the deck. You know, we saw no worms the last turn. So we did end up top decking into an Adhara here. This can go for a copy of the Monk, and then we can start getting our stuff together as well, having a worm in the graveyard. So we're going to link away for the copy of Monk. This is going to give us that Taya access. They're thinking on this. We're going to be flashing fire here, destroying the copy of Monk, banishing the top 2. And then we can get Fountain effect here. And they have another Ash Blossom, but we're going to be called by the Graving that. And then we get that draw. Do we see potentially... We see another Destruction there. Not very nice. Then we are going to be Freezing Curses going. That's Taya going to be banished. We do have a Emergence, but they're going to set a card and pass on this. Then we're going to Destruction the Blackout, not even giving them any chance. We see another Taya and then an Ecclesia. But they're just going to scoop it up there, realizing their opponent's going to have enough. And I think the last card in the hand was the Summit. But yeah, having those double Long Young and then triple Moe banished, all off of one desires. That's half your desires, just taking away all of your deck essentially. But we're going to be moving on into Game 3 with the Swordsoul deck. Going to be able to choose going to go first or second. Chances are they're going to go first, and we know that the Swordsoul deck is notorious for playing copies of Anti-Spell. So we could see that Anti-Spell being flipped face up, and if we don't have a Destruction to meet that, it's going to really be our Destruction, not being able to play any of those spells until 2 turns following. Very hard to get a Fountain on the field to draw if you just can't activate any of your spells. But that is a big if we don't have it. But they do end up drawing multiple cards, especially if we do see a Desires. It is at 3 now, so we can be having, chances of it being in our opening hand is quite high. I think it's like a 30-something% chance. We're going to be shuffling it up here. I wonder what the side deck is looking like when you're trying to play against Swordsoul. Like, what do you really go for when you're playing Chimera? But we're going to be diving on in. We do see a hand full of monsters here, which is quite good for us. We do see a Droll, though, in the hand, as well as Ash Blossom. We're going to see a Vishuda and then Ash being normal summoned out, going for a copy of... Wow, going just for a copy of the Baronne here. Setting a card and passing on this. Good old Baronne pass. And then we do see the draw phase hitting us with the anti-spell. Now this is just the best deck. Now sometimes people are just built different. Like, to really out this, you have to have Destruction plus Freezing. We do see the Destruction here though, or that's Slumber. Okay, I said we do see the Slumber. I thought for a second it was Destruction, but to summon out the Gary. This is going to let us tribute summon out that Big Wing. It looks like we have 2 Big Wings in the hand. We have Chimera Fusion and then a Fountain itself. Not looking too hot. We have Gazelle, okay. But, like, Gazelle doesn't do anything. So we have Gazelle and Big Wing. We can just set the Chimera Fusion. I guess set our spells. We're going to be normal summoning out the Gazelle here. Do we maybe have a way to out the copy of the Baron? Searching for a copy of the Chimera Fusion. But that does not matter. We get hit with a Droll. We're not going to be searching anymore this turn anyways. We're going to be setting the Fountain. And then setting 1, 2 cards here. And we have a Swords Knight as well. Then we're going to pass on this. Baronne's going to be destroying the Fountain here. And then we go battle phase attack over the Gazelle. And just pass turn on this. Dealing some damage. Pretty nice. We do see a tip. But we're still having to deal with that copy of the Runick Fountain here. We are going to activate a Chimera Fusion. And do they choose to Baron is the question. They don't, so we're going to go for a copy of the Guardian Chimera. And we get the Chain Block here, so we have Big Wing as well as the Mirror's Swords Knight here. Nice little chain block, making it so that Baronne cannot. Then we're going to get rid of that copy of Anti-Spell. And now we are free. and see that Baron end up negating that big wing. Definitely, you know, chances are that it's going to be destroyed. Like we just seeing them go battle phase, attack over it. So definitely wanting to get that negate through. And then we're going to be seeing them activate a tip, hitting a Moe, and then searching for a fountain, activating the fountain there. And do we have another Runick card to get that draw 3 here is the question. We're going to pass turn on this. I think we have Nib in the hand. We're going to summon out the copy of the Adhara. And flashing fire the Adhara here. Destroying, and we do hit Ashuna. And then we get the draw 3. But that was an Ash that got smashed. So we unfortunately just don't. But they drew Ash for turn. So, you know, we're still in the game. We're still doing pretty alright. And they're going to go Chimera Fusion here. Using the Nib as well as itself. Going for the Magnum the Reliever. And then it looks like we're going to pass on that. We could have activated the Adhara there, but we're going to see them draw for turn, activate the effect of Magnum, put back, and then draw. Looks like we're going to go... We don't have a battle phase. Or, do we have a battle phase there? I'm not even sure. Then we're going to be seeing Slumber going to be activating. Putting back, I don't think we have a battle phase, so. Then we hit them with an Ash once again, but that's all 3 Ashes there. We do hit out an Ecclesia. Then we're going to summon out the Taya here. So we have the freezing curses to stop the Taya. That is unbelievable. And then we cannot, as well as we're going to be activating the effect of the Magnum, destroying it. Then we can activate the effect to draw 3 cards here. And there's no more Ashes available to even get hit with. They just pass turn, and it's now just our game. We're going to be able to summon out here. And we have this the Infinity Advantage. You know, we're going to see Gary add back the Fountain, as well as getting that additional draw for the Fountains. And like now we're just getting a +3 every single turn. We're going to activate the Coatl. Coatl can search for the Mirror Swords Knight. We can then activate the effect, summon out the Big Wing. And then Big Wing can let us search. Or going for Gazelle, same thing. Looks like they maybe don't have it in deck, most likely being in hand. We're going to be activating the effect of Tip, searching for a copy of the Flash and Fire, getting rid of the Water Tenny. That would have been a horrible draw for them, but I guess it is what it is. We're going to see them activate the effect of the Emergency Rift off the top. We have a Nib in the hand still, so if anything gets a little bit too crazy, we're then going to get to add the copy of Moe. Not much left in the deck there. And of course, Moe in hand is not going to do anything for us. We're going to still normal summon. We're going to go for another copy of the Guardian Chimera. And now I'm thinking about it, why didn't we activate the Adhara in the graveyard to add back the Ashuna? Or even the copy of the Water Tenny. Probably the Water Tenny there. And then activate the effect of Moe, revealing it. And then if it gets destroyed, we can summon out the Water Tenny. Then go for a Monk. And then Monk can attack. But yeah, the game is essentially over at this point. We do see the Swordsoul player admit defeat. They try with those Ashes as much as they could. But just unfortunately was not enough. We see the Chimera player end up taking the win here. Regardless, hope you guys are watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, see some more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.